So today is the 14th of April, so it's 2 days since Easter. And I haven't really done a ton of filming, but I really need to get into that. But I finished reading A Country Escape by Katie Ford, this one here. This is my third book this month that I have finished. I was pretty happy with that, and I really enjoyed this book. I know that a lot of people were saying this is not Katie Ford's best book, and they weren't that interested in this one, but I've never read Katie Ford before, and I actually quite enjoyed this book. I actually really liked it. So basically, this book is about Fran. Fran gets this letter from a very distant relative saying that basically she's in a care home and she's sick and she wants to pass her farm down to a family member. And this old lady's name is Amy. Amy contacted Fran, who lives in England, and she contacted Roy, who lives in Australia. Roy is a relative of Amy's deceased husband, and Fran is a relative of Amy's. The farm itself used to be Amy's husband, and he obviously passed away. Now, Amy is very traditional in the sense that she believes that the farm should be inherited by a male heir. However, being the fact that her and her husband never had kids, she just wanted to find someone who would love and care for her farm as much as she did. She had these beautiful prize-winning rare cows. The land that she owned was never ploughed, so it was throughout all the time that it had been owned, so it was very special land as well. And so Roy never responded to her letter, but Fran did. So Amy says to Fran, I'm giving you a year to turn this farm into a profitable working farm, and if you can prove to me that you are the right person for this farm, you will inherit it. And then, so obviously Fran moves to the farm, and there is a wealthy next door neighbor. When I say next door, I mean on the farm next door, who Amy, the elderly lady, does not like. Her, she has a grudge against that particular family, and this man's actually a really lovely man, and he wants to help Fran out because the farm is quite run down and needs help. But there's also another woman in town that's very jealous of the fact that the wealthy next door neighbor has feelings or likes Fran but never liked her. She's a gold digger. And so she contacts Roy, the male relative in Australia, and tells him about what he would inherit if he was to come to England to inherit the farm. And so Roy and Fran are living now on the farm together to try and, prove that they're the best one for the job. Fran actually does do a lot of improvements on the farm. She runs it really well. Roy, on the other hand, is a straight up ass, and he's drunk, and he just constantly keeps telling everyone that he can't wait until the old bird kicks it. Basically, he's just after the money, and the moment the old lady dies, he is going to sell it. Like, he's so sure that he's going to inherit the farm because he's a male heir. And I'm going to tell you guys, if Roy was a real person and spoke to me the way that he spoke to Fran and a lot of other people and women in particular, I would have punched that man in the face. It would have been hard not to. I'm just saying. He was a straight up jackass. And reading this book, whenever Roy was in a part that I was reading, incited some really strong emotions. Like, I wanted to smack him one. Obviously, I'm not going to go into everything because I don't want to give away the book, but it was really, really beautiful. I love this book. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I think it was a really good book and well worth a cute read. And this fit into my prompts. So if you're new to my channel and you don't know what I'm doing, I have 16 prompts that I create for myself every month. Some prompts I reuse from previous months if I didn't get around to using them in the previous month. But this book fit prompt 3, which was set on a farm. So this is set on Hilltop Farm. So that is that. So I finished that yesterday, which was Monday. I read a fair bit of books over like the Easter weekend. I do hope everyone had a lovely Easter weekend. I know it's definitely a very different Easter this year. Myself, we didn't celebrate Easter this year because I was at home and my fiance had to work a 10-hour shift on Easter Day. He's an essential worker, so I was by myself for Easter, but I still got chocolate eggs and stuff like that. We did get a few little bits and pieces for each other, but we just saw no point in celebrating. It's just me and my fiance, so yeah. So anyway, moving on. I'm currently reading The Inn at Rose Harbour by Debbie Macomber. This is the first book in the series, and this is also a Hallmark series. Now, I'm just going to say, love Debbie Macomber's work. She's my favourite author. I've said that a million times. This book got me in the feels, you guys. I cried last night a fair bit reading this book. So basically, this book is about Jo Marie Rose. She buys this inn after her husband is killed in Afghanistan. And she buys this inn because she believes this is what her husband is trying to guide her to. And she's having a hard time. But she also believes that the two people that are currently staying at her B&B were also guided there by her husband for her to help. So one of them is Abby. Abby used to live in Cedar Cove, and she hasn't been back to Cedar Cove in 15 years because when she was about 18 years old, there was an accident with her and her best friend. They were driving. Abby was the one who was driving, and the accident killed her best friend. And she has held on to the guilt of her friend dying for 15 years because in her mind she killed her friend. So she's come back because her brother is getting married and is getting married in Cedar Cove. The second guest, Josh, or Joshua, also hasn't been back to Cedar Cove in a long time because he left when he graduated school and went straight into the army because his mother had got remarried to a man who loved his mother very dearly but did not care for him, being the fact that he was his stepson. And his mother died when he was 15 of cancer, and so his stepfather then obviously had to raise the stepson and wasn't a very nice man to Josh. And now he is dying, and Josh has had to come back to finalize everything because his stepfather Richard's actual son Dylan also is dead and had passed away, I don't know, about 10 years prior or something like that, in an accident. And it was sad because in this book, all three of them are dealing with death, basically. Jo Marie, husband, was killed in Afghanistan. His helicopter was, I believe, shot down in a fairly remote part of Afghanistan, and his body was not able to be recovered to bring home to later rest. So that's hard, and it was the love of Jo Marie's life, so that's hard for her. Abby is dealing with the death of her friend still because she blames herself so very much, and Josh is dealing with the death of his stepfather and the fact that this old man still hates him even though Josh never did anything wrong, and he realizes things about his life that he may not have realized to begin with when he was younger as a teenager. And I don't want to get too much into it if you haven't read or watched this because it's a really good book, you guys, but I'm telling you, last night I bawled my eyes out. I was laying in bed, My fiance was asleep next to me. I was laying here. I had the lights out, but I had the light on my phone like on so I could read the book. And I'm laying here and tears just streaming down my face, but I'm enjoying this. I'm nearly finished. I don't have too much to go. I think it's just over three, just a bit less than 100 pages left of this book. So yeah, so there's that. The other book I'm currently reading is The Loveliest Chocolate Shop in Paris by Jenny Colgan. What am I, about 100 pages in. This is cute so far. I've read other books of Jenny Colgan's and so far I like this one, but the writing in this one seems a little bit different to the other ones I've read. I think I prefer the writing in the other ones, but I'm still enjoying this one. So this one is about Anna. Anna works for a chocolate factory in England and has an accident, and 2 of her toes have been amputated. They got cut off in the accident. So she has to be in hospital for quite some time. She also has to go through rehab to be able to help her like with walking and stuff, and now the fact that she's missing toes, like her balance is off, that type of thing. And while she's in the hospital, the lady that's in the bed next to her was actually her French teacher, and her French teacher is currently going through chemo because she has cancer. And while Anna and her French teacher Claire are in the hospital for several months, they decide, Claire, the teacher, decides to help Anna, learn better French basically. And then Anna gets out and she has to adjust to her new life. She no longer has a job to go to. She's got 2 missing toes. Things are a little bit harder for her, and her French teacher Claire organizes with a very old friend of hers back in Paris, who just so happens to own a chocolate shop, for Anna to go and stay in Paris and work in this chocolate shop. And so far that is kind of all I've got into. I'm enjoying it so far. I don't understand it's obviously written in English, but there are definitely some phrases that are in French that I don't really understand, but you kind of get the context based on what the English sentences are. Sorry if you can hear that, there's brakes of a truck going by. But yeah, so I'm not like super far into this book, but I am enjoying it so far. Now, because I finished A Country Escape yesterday, I need to replace it. So I'm going to start The Love Shack by Jane Costello today. And I believe this is about a couple who buys a rundown cottage. I believe that's what it is. Yeah, rundown cottage, and they decide to do it up. I believe they move into one of their parents' houses to help them save money on rent and stuff while they're renovating this cottage, and things ensue basically. I've never read any books from Jane Costello, so I'm really interested to read this one, and it seemed like a super cute book, so that is what I'm going to start today. I have already completed 3 out of the 16 books that I picked for this month. I'm really hoping I can finish this one, The Inn at Rose Harbour, either today or tomorrow. We'll see, but I really want to try. I don't think I can read 16 books in a month. That's just not the type of reader I am, but I really want to try and read as many as possible, because now that I've got so much time on my hands, I really need to do something constructive with my time. Last week I was a bit lazy because I've just been feeling just down, like mentally down. This week I want to be better, so I'm going to try that. I do set myself reading goals every day. I set myself a minimum of 100 pages, And I also set myself a minimum of how many pages I want to read from each book. So for instance, today's goal is minimum pages of 50 for this one, the Inn at Rose Harbour. I want to read a minimum of 25 for The Loveliest Chocolate Shop in Paris, and I want to read a minimum of 25 for The Love Shack. So I'm gonna see how I go with that. Basically, that is it, you guys. So if you can hear my phone going off, I get text messages coming through from like work and just, you know, because we were on emergency pay from work for the first 2 weeks of lockdown, and we've been paid the first week and they messed it up and we didn't get paid enough and we got overtaxed. I don't know how you fucked that up, but they did, excuse my language. And then we've had to apply to use our annual leave to be continued to get paid after emergency pay stopped, which emergency pay stopped on the 12th of April, so Sunday. And then we don't know from there. I'm hearing that we're supposed to be in this lockdown situation for up to 6 months. I really hope we're not, but if we are, it is what it is. Like, we have to. Why are there so many cars? Like, seriously. It honestly amazes me how many people are out when we're supposed to be in a lockdown and only supposed to be doing like essential travel, like you know, grocery shopping, doctor's appointments, chemists, that type of thing. But here we are with all these cars driving around. Like, I can see the street from where I'm sitting right now, and this, like, it's dead in comparison to what it would normally be if we didn't have a pandemic, but it's still busy in my opinion to what I think it should be. But yeah, I don't even know anymore, you guys. I will also show you some of my knitting and crocheting projects that I'm working on. I'm working on a big crochet blanket. I'm winging this one. I'm working off of a notepad and I'm making it up as I go. So it's definitely probably not as straight as it could be. But it is what it is. It's whatever. But yeah, I'm also doing that. I really need to actually do my socks because we are a month and a half away from winter. I need to do my socks. I ripped them all out again. I made a mistake, so I had to start all over again. And yeah, basically that's it at the moment. So anyway, guys, I hope you guys are staying safe. If you're feeling the way I'm feeling about being inside, don't hesitate to comment down below if you want to chat. I'm more than happy to chat with you. I know these times are hard at the moment. You know, everyone has to deal with this, and it's going to be difficult for a while. So if you feel like you need someone to talk to, I'm more than happy to chat to you guys if you want to. If you don't want to, that's cool as well. But yeah, so I will update you guys later on, and I hopefully get some reading done and not procrastinate. Anyway, guys, bye. Hey guys, so I'm just in my courtyard and I have been planting some plants and you probably can't really see them. Let me see if I can zoom in. There's 2 tiny little shoots there and then 2 tiny little ones just in here as well. And those are going to be chrysanthemum flowers, hopefully. I don't see any other little shoots yet. But yeah, so I planted those. I'm so excited to see them. It's a mixture of colors, so it'll be really great to see what comes out of those. And then let me see if I can switch up the camera angle a bit. There we go. I repotted my poinsettia. It's looking a bit sad at the moment because it needs to I needed to prune it back and everything to get it to grow a bit better again. So in time for Christmas it should
flower beautifully. Sorry if you can hear all the noise. And then we're working on our courtyard. We need to do some gardening, so we need to chop these back over here. I don't even know what they are, honestly. I have no idea. But we need to chop those back because I can't get to the tap for my hose. And then all this stuff down here needs to be removed. It's like a I actually really don't know what it is, but it strangles everything and is overgrown, like you can see. So we're going to pull all of this out, and then you can see this big tree here. We need to prune that back to stop possums getting into our roof. And then over here I repotted, sorry about that, sorry about the noise, I'm outside. I live on a fairly busy street. So I've repotted my Mondo grasses as well. They're looking a bit sad at the moment, but I repotted them into this and hopefully they'll do okay. My strawberries are looking way sad down there. Let's see if I can zoom in a bit. These are my strawberries. So they keep getting attacked by bugs. And we've tried all sorts of things and they die off, but then they come back again. So they've come back again. They're looking a bit sad, so I need to buy some fertilizer, but you know, we'll have to wait for that. And then this is my lily. It's died back, but it's starting to shoot back up again. So hopefully that comes back because I really love that lily. What's with all the noise today? Like, oh my god, so many trucks are going by. And this is actually my memorial lily for my grandfather when he died, not last year but the year before. And my fiance bought that for me as a memorial. And then we've just been chopping down these bits, so we need to get our mulcher out so that we can mulch all of that and put it back into the garden. And then this is our courtyard here. The trees definitely need to be pruned back. So we're slowly, bit by bit doing things, but we just, obviously because of lockdown, we don't have access to everything. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm really excited though about my plants. And then hopefully, and I'll end this one here. This tree drives me nuts. We did let it go a little bit around this area simply because this fence here is wood and then this one behind it is concrete. It's big concrete, but people, because I live on a main road, jump into the courtyard at night time and they try and break into your house. So we tried to let the tree get a little bit overgrown to stop people from being able to jump over the fence, but we are going to tidy it up a little bit and just neaten it, but keep the height over towards the fence, but towards this way, like towards me, like chop all this back. And then it'll look nice again. And then I do have these pots ready. I'm going to plant carrots today. I'm actually planting carrots in this black one over here. And then these, I'm going to probably plant more flowers. And then I've got an empty one in the back. And the reason why, now there's a motorbike, seriously? But the reason why I haven't got anything in there at the moment was because these planters don't have holes in the base of them. They have two holes, like one on the side, on the actual side, so water gets stuck in there and then the plants just don't like it. So I needed to empty them out and drill holes into the bases of these so I can use these because they're on wheels. They're planter boxes on wheels. But that's basically what I plan on doing today. And yeah, so that's everything, you guys. I'll see you later and check in with what I am doing.
Hi guys, so today is the 16th of April, it's Thursday, and I just wanted to give you a quick update on my reading. I mean, I finished a book and I've got one on the go at the moment, and I've got two more books I'm going to be starting. So, the book I actually finished yesterday, was The Inn at Rose Harbour by Debbie Maycromer. This is the first book in the series, and I finished this yesterday. I adored this book. It was definitely a really, really good book. I definitely recommend this. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars as well. This book was definitely emotional. Three different people in this. Jo Marie Rose, who is the main character of this book, with her B&B that she just purchased after the death of her husband. And her husband had died in Afghanistan when his helicopter went down, and his body was not able to be retrieved to bring back home to be buried. So that was like um, definitely hard for Jo Marie Rose. Then you have Abby Kincaid, who 15 years after an accident, a car accident that she was in, killed her best friend, and she was the driver, and she is still dealing with that guilt 15 years later. Finally, she finally has to deal with everything head on and move on from it. And Joshua Weaver, the other person who was staying in the inn, has come back to Cedar Cove as well to handle the death of his stepfather. So when he gets there, his stepfather hasn't died yet, but his stepfather wasn't a nice man. So Josh isn't pleased to be there, but while he is there, he does learn some things about his stepfather, his mother, and even himself. And it honestly was a tearjerker for me. Definitely, it did make me cry a few times, but I really, really enjoyed this book, and I highly recommend it. I do also think that this book will have like that continuing theme throughout the series. Like, Jo Marie Rose will always be the main character, but because she owns the inn, I feel like there's always going to be people staying in the inn that have like issues that they're going to have to come to terms with, type of thing. I don't know for certain, but I feel like that's the way this series is leading. I could be wrong though, but I'm definitely really excited to continue on with this series. This series is also a Hallmark original. If you have Hallmark, we don't have Hallmark in Australia, which sucks because I love Hallmark stuff. Excuse the noise, there is a truck going by. Big Mac truck. Oh my god. Since I've been in lockdown for 3 weeks, I've gone stir crazy. The noise outside seems so much louder because it's so much quieter outside now. But yeah, so anyway, back to what I was saying. I really, really enjoyed this book. I definitely highly recommend it. And one thing I actually was really surprised about in this book was it has knitting patterns in here and a crochet pattern. So there is, Jo Marie says in the book that when her husband Paul died, someone recommended her to take some knitting and crocheting classes to help with her grief, and she did, and she found that she loved it, and it did actually help her a bit. So there's one in here, there's a crochet shawl pattern, which it gives you the whole pattern. I think is really cute. It even has a small black and white picture as well for the pattern. It's hard to tell, but and then there's a knitted shawl pattern in there as well. So that's actually really cool because I do crochet and I do knit. So yeah, so there's that one. This one actually finishes prompt number 2, which has flowers on the cover. So yeah, so there's that. And then I do have my other books. So on to what I'm currently reading. So I am reading The Loveliest Chocolate Shop in Paris by Jenny Colgan. I haven't got any further than... What's that? Sorry about that. My fiance walked in on me. So I haven't actually got any further in this book than the last time I updated you, so I do need to get onto that. And Anna has just arrived there. It's like her first day in the chocolate shop, and so far I'm really enjoying this. I actually really love Jenny Colgan's work. I've read a few of her other books, and this book does actually have recipes in here. Quite a few actually, so I always love a book with recipes. So there's that one. This book here is for prompt number 4, which has chocolate in the title, which this one obviously does. The next book that I'm going to be reading, I haven't started it yet, is The Love Shack. I'm pretty sure I mentioned this in my other update, I just didn't start it yet. This is by Jane Costello. I've never actually read any of her work, but this one is going to fit prompt 6, which is a book that makes you happy. And I picked this one, even though I don't fully know what it's about, because these types of books do make me happy. I actually have a different prompt for that, but once lockdown happened, I'm out of work. I haven't lost my job, I still have my job, but my job has been shut down, so I am no longer getting paid or anything like that. I had to really rein in my spending, so I had to cancel all of my subscriptions, and Kindle Unlimited was one of them, just because it's unnecessary at the moment for me to have that. I've got plenty of books at home. So I changed the prompt that I had. I don't even remember what it was, but I changed it. And these types of books really do make me happy. So I'm excited to start reading that one. And then the last book I will be starting to read is The Inn at Eagle Point by Cheryl Woods. And this is the first book in the series. This is the Chesapeake Shores series. This is also a Hallmark original. I'm pretty sure it's also on Netflix. I've never actually watched the series myself. I should actually watch it, but yeah, I've never read any Cheryl Woods work before, but quite a few booktubers that I do watch does read her stuff, and they say it's really good. And to be honest, I'm pretty sure Cheryl Woods is very similar to like Debbie Maycomer, so this is definitely something that I'm going to be interested in reading. This is also about an inn, just like the Rose Harbour one. I don't know very much else apart from that, but this one is for prompt 7, which has pastel or a colourful cover, and this is kind of very pastel-y, so that's what I picked for that one. So that's kind of everything I'm going to be doing for my reading at the moment. I'm really wanting to read a lot while we're in lockdown. Like I said, I've been in lockdown now for 3 weeks. Call it crazy. But yeah, and I also have started knitting again. So in my last update I said that I messed up my sock and I ripped it all out and had to start again. So this is where I am at. So I'm doing the toe. I'm making it a little bit bigger. I prefer a little bit of a looser sock. This is not a sock that I'm going to be wearing in shoes. This is one I'm going to be wearing at home during winter time, like when I've got my slippers on or whatever. So I made it a little bit looser, and that's where I've got so far. I'm using Northern Lights yarn from Ruby Fox Yarns, and the yarn is just so soft and so beautiful, you guys. I have made tiny little mistake where there is like a bit of a hole on the side, but it is what it is. I don't care, I'm not going back to fix that. So anyway guys, that's everything for my updates at the moment. I will update you later when I do more reading, and yeah. So anyway guys, hope you're enjoying yourself. Take it easy. I know it's stressful right now, but you know, we're all in the same position, and we just have to do what we've got to do to get through this. So anyway guys, I will update you later. Bye!